Hey guys, I wanted to take some time today to talk to you about some affordable humidor solutions. A lot of times people are on a budget, myself included, and you're looking for a way to keep some cigars safe, and you don't really want to spend a whole lot of money. I've got a couple of great ideas and some tricks and tips so that you can keep your cigars fresh without breaking the bank. I'm going to talk to you about a few of those right now. First thing I want to mention is the Humidor combo number 451. This is a humidor combo from Cigars International. I did a full review on it. I'll post the link right here. You can check that out later on if you like. This is just a cheapo humidor. It's decent looking. It comes with cigars, and it's like 20 bucks, man. If you're the first time buyer of this thing, it's only 20 bucks online. It's a great first time buyer, I don't know, starter kit, kind of as it were. Gets some cigars, gets you a good humidor, gets you on your way. But if you don't want to go that route, I have a couple other ideas here. Next thing I want to mention is Tupperware. Now, this is not glamorous at all, but it's effective. And a couple things you want to look for when you're selecting your Tupperware, or your Tupperware, as it were, is I like the ones that have these little rubber seals in them. I always look for something like that because that means that it's really one of the 100% sealed Tupperware containers. A lot of times Tupperware containers are there just to keep your food fresh for a couple days. In this case, we're holding cigars. We want to keep them fresh for months, years, maybe even. So beyond that, what you always also want to do, wash the thing out, man. Even when it's fresh and new, you want to go ahead and wash it. Maybe run it through your dishwasher. And then what you might want to do is just kind of wipe down the whole surface with some distilled water and then let it air dry. I don't know if that's overkill, but that's what I like to do before I'm going to be sticking my cigars in there and make sure they don't taste like plastic. Just an idea. And then it's real simple, you know. You can get these Humicare humidification packets or pillows, whatever you want to call. I mean, you can run down to your cigar store, and usually they're going to have these on the next to the register. They're just a couple bucks, super cheap. So you spend $6-7 bucks on the humidor, or sorry, on the Tupperware, a couple bucks on the humidifier. And then it's always a good idea just to have a hydrometer, just to throw it in there. Keep an eye on your cigars, just so you know where the humidity's at. That's a great way to go. So for under 10 bucks, maybe 10-15 bucks when you include the hydrometer, your cigars are safe, they're humidified, and it's clear, so you can keep an eye on them. You know, it's really a great way to go. A little bit more portable, depending on who you are, is sometimes what I'll do is if I'm packing for the weekend, I'll grab a mason jar and I'll throw my cigars in that. Let's say I'm going away for the weekend and want to throw 2 or 3 cigars in there. I'll stick them in a mason jar. These things are obviously sealed completely. You keep your food in there, it preserves it for years. Throw some cigars in there, another one of those humidifier pillows. You're good to go for the weekend, or realistically, if you're only keeping 2 or 3 cigars, it's not a bad way to go for a long-term solution. Another route you could take, especially on a little bit more of a temporary basis, is a lot of times you go to buy a cigar, this is how you get it. They give it to you in a bag, and it's a higher quality than just like a standard Ziploc sandwich bag. So it holds the humidity pretty well. And you can either use the humidifier pillows. Usually those things put off enough humidity to keep your cigar fresh in a Ziploc bag for, you know, a week or 2. I wouldn't use it as like a long-term solution, but, you know, for a temporary basis, that's actually not a bad way to go. If your cigar store doesn't have those little humidifier pillows, a sponge and a Ziploc bag. You get a clean, fresh, new sponge, not one of the ones that's lemon scented or has soap in it, whatever. A nice new sponge soaked in distilled water. You stick it in a Ziploc bag, and then you're just going to have the bag open in your Tupperware, your jar, whatever you've got going on. That's going to be a decent, albeit cheapo, humidifier. It'll work. It's not glamorous, and you can tell when it dries out. It's pretty easy. You poke it. If it's dry, you add more water to it. Especially if you've got a decent hydrometer, it'll be a great way to keep an eye on your cigars to make sure that sponge is the way that doing what it needs to do. A couple other ideas. A lot of coolers nowadays are airtight, waterproof, and that's a great way if you're going to buy multiple boxes of cigars, but you don't want to buy a gigantic humidor to keep them in. Throw them in your cooler. Just make sure that you got ample, and I do mean ample, humidification, because those things are a pretty big space, depending on the size of the one, of course. You know, we're talking about something that could range from this big to this big, you know. but that gives you a big range of, you know, how many cigars you have, that's how big of a cooler you get. That's a great way to go. A couple other ways, they've got those other, you know, larger jars that have the snap lids. Those are all completely waterproof, airtight. A great way to go, and it looks cool too. I mean, who doesn't want to walk into their kitchen and have a jar full of cigars sitting there? That's awesome. So there you have it, my tips and tricks for cheapo humidors. Just a quick little video just to give you an idea of the different things that you can do to save a little bit of money. Go ahead and get down in the comment section. Tell me what you like to keep your cigars in. Do you use one of these methods or something completely different? Let me know. And as always, happy smoking. I'm going to talk to you about those Humidor. I know a lot of the a jar. That's stupid. That's great too, obviously. I keep sounding like an idiot.